Hi friends, Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me for another great guts adventure. We have day four, day four, and don't worry, this video should hopefully be a little shorter than the last one, and I already picked the majority of this. So I just have a touch here, and I'm going to tell you what it is first. So day 4 is Dandelion Fire CVM coated. I love CVM. And then it's from Mystic Rose Farms, Oregon, with 5% Angora. So there is a little card for that. So here is the add-in. Super soft and fluffy Angora. So that'll be interesting. For those of you that are new, I have worked with Angora before, and it was a bit of a pain. So I'm going to go about this a little differently than I have in the past, and hopefully all will be good. Turn the light up on this just so that hopefully you guys can see it better. There we go. So here is that beautiful crimp, that like waffle crimp going on. This is CVM. Beautiful. It's very creamy, so it's going to get a little blasted out here, but hopefully you can see that. So all I'm doing is, this is the rest I have to open up. I'm just going to open that up real quick here while we speak for a short bit. But yeah, there's a very little veggie matter because it is coated, which is really nice. Super soft. The tips aren't like felted, which is nice because you never know with a coat. Sometimes they get a little bit felted, but looks really nice. Again, just a touch of veggie matter here, nothing crazy, which is really nice when it comes to opening this up. And just getting that all nice and opened. And then if there's any like little second cuts, I grabbed those. Very little second cuts. I mean, most fleeces will have some bit of second cuts here and there, but there's just varying amounts. I'm just going to double check that. That might be kind of not felted, kind of, sort of. Sometimes there's knots, but like CVM is not notorious for having like knots. It's not like a long wool, like a Dorset or not Dorset. Oh, names are escaping me. Gotland. Goodness, a totally different name. But Gotlands, you know, those are going to be your long wools. And like Cotswold. Oh my gosh. I have had a Cotswold before where it definitely can get ropey. So, shouldn't have the problem with this. But I love working with CVM. I have quite a few CVM fleeces currently in my wool hut, my wool shed, that have been cleaned. They just need to be picked and carded. But they are so pretty. And there is a really pretty special one in the Multifarious Nature 2025 hand spinning advent if you want to get your hands on one. I think there's still one or two in the shop as we're recording now, but there is a special CVM in there, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. I will not tell you what it looks like. You're going to have to wait and see. Follow me on my my regular podcast for Multifarious Nature, and I am doing my Vlogmas right now, so you'll be able to see as I kind of open them up the different wools and what they look like. If you go on the website, you can see what the breeds are going to be, but you'll see what they look like until I open them. Okay, so this little patch was a little bit cumbersome, but she's definitely giving you more fiber than she promised. So she said 25 grams, and then she said, and it's true, it's like it's a little bit closer to 30 grams. of wool that she gives you, so she kind of accounts for the fact that you're going to have these little second cuts, you're going to have some debris that you're getting rid of, things like that kind of stuff. So it's going to lose some weight. So you want to make sure you're getting your wool value, which is really nice that she's accounting for that. And almost there. And it's really opening nicely, very easily, very structurally sound, which I don't question that with any of MellyKnits, like Melly's. It's this wool that she processes. She always checks that kind of stuff. I'm very big about that as well. I don't want something that is not structurally sound being spun up. That's no good. So, got this last bit here. And then it'd be good to put it on the drum carder. And I think the way I'm going to do this is kind of similar to the bison, actually. So it's kind of nice to start with the bison last time, because that was I would say that was harder. So I'm going to do kind of a similar thing. I'm going to put a layer of the CBM, then put a layer of the, I'm going to like kind of take small bits of the Angora and spread it out really thin, and then feed it onto the carder and do it kind of like that, and just keep blending. I might have to do multiple passes like I did with the bison, but hopefully we'll be able to do it in just a couple passes here. So, got my drum carder going nice and slow, and we're going to get that beautiful CBM on there. CBM is so nice. Oh, I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Favorites. As the Shetland, they're my favorites to spin. Okay. Again, I want to put like a nice thin layer. I just want to make sure there's a layer on the drum carder. And I did actually clean my drum carder, guys. You might notice it doesn't seem to have all the red on it like it did the other day. I did actually clear it because this fleece is white and the Angora is white. I did kind of want to try to keep this as a white skein of yarn, just so that way I'm being consistent, where the others were browns, varying shades of browns, so a touch of that coppery. I didn't clean off my liquor in, but I did clean off, for the most part, my drum carder, the big drum. Okay, a little bit more of this, and now we're going to put some Angora. So Angora is really fluffy, really soft. Look at that, it's like butter. Just like butter. Alright, and I am going to feed it in. Oh, it scares me to do this, but Melly from MellyKnits, so Melissa, did say that even with super like airy fibers like this, the hair fibers, like she will feed it onto her drum carder. So I'm gonna go with her word here. I'm gonna do it too, as much as that makes me super, super, super nervous. I'm gonna do it. And hopefully it will get grabbed by the drum carder. It did. It's good. And then I'm just gonna make sure that I use my brush again to compact it onto it. And again, I want to make sure I open it up super thin. It has a tendency to want to stick to itself. It's kind of the nature of this stuff. And then if you want it on thin, you really have to make an effort to do that. I do kind of want to paint it on. She said you can do that too, of course, but that's usually what I do with fibers like this. I paint it on. But so far, I do like how thin it's going on compared to how I painted it in the past. It's definitely, it's distributing itself nicely, so. And then if any of it gets stuck onto the liquor I'm just gonna grab it and put it up here on the drum. And it's doing it on its own. That's really nice. Okay. And I would put more Angora, but I think we're gonna add just a touch more of CDM. And then I'll do a touch more Angora. A little bit of Angora. Grouped out like that. Nice and thin and fabulous. And I think I actually might even sandwich it. I've heard some folks doing that. They like sandwich it, but then again, I don't want it thick. I don't want to put it on thick. Because if you put your fiber in too thick, it gets stuck to that liquor and then it doesn't go onto your drum carder, which is not what you want to do. So you just want to put it on pretty lightly, if you can help it. So, and just a little bit more CBM. I do love Angora. It's so stinking soft. It's unbelievable. Right, so this, I'm just going like that, where you pull a chunk, and open it, open it, open it, open it, across drum cutter. And honestly, I'm gonna like even divide that in half. Let's try to spread that out across it, because you want it super, super thin as you can get it. Because it just wants to grip itself. It's so fine and staticky. Like, if you've not worked with hairs before in your fiber, it's an interesting experience. We have Australian Shepherd. Oh my gosh, there's fluff everywhere. We have an Australian Shepherd. He's a mini, and I do have some of his floof, his hair, and I have yet to work with it, but it's going to be a similar process, I think, where it's going to go everywhere, and you just have to put it on super thin. And I'm definitely going to be blending it with a wool, because I just think that's going to be a better experience spinning, because it's such fine and short staple length compared to other things. Brush here again. Let's get that on there. And I'm just compacting down. This is just a soft bristle, stiff bristle brush, but it still bristles nonetheless. And we're going to keep compacting that. And I do have this going very slowly. I want to get that first pass nice and gentle. And then I can step up the speed. Later. So I'll do some more Angora. Just wants to stick to itself. Let's get that super thin. Kind of a challenge. There. Nice and thin. Love Angora. I hope you guys are enjoying this. There was a little bit of pink or copper on there still I missed. It happens. You don't notice it so much, and then you put the white against it, and there it is, but it's okay. It'll make it cohesive when I spin it all together. Or, well, spin it, but when I knit it all together, it'll make it cohesive, right? Get a little bit of color in there. That's what I tell myself, at least. It's going to make it semi-cohesive. And more CBM. Love my CBM. I keep saying that. I really do. It's so wonderful. If you haven't worked with CBM, get your hands on some CBM. They're out there. They are considered I think they are considered a rare breed still, California variegated mutant. But there's more and more breeders out there. We have some here in Michigan, actually pretty close to where I live, so that's really cool. And I did travel an hour and a half or so to get some beautiful CBM fleeces, and that was a cool little journey. I dragged my mom and my brother along with me, and that was a fun adventure. We got an amazing deal on some CBM fleeces, so that was totally worth it. And met a really neat lady who has her flock of CBMs. So that was really neat. Just love meeting folks that are involved with the wools. All really neat people, really kind people, and they are all passionate about the critters, that's for sure. So this is a nice chunk. Kind of try to paint it nice and lightly across. I think I might start painting it a little bit. I don't know. I liked putting it through the drum carder a little bit, but I almost like, because I can do this, there are other drum carders, like Melissa from MellyKnits has a really massive drum carder she calls Big Homie, and he's got like, I think she said it has 4 drums on it, and she can't do this, like this kind of painting, because it'll just yank her arm right in there because it's so aggressive. So I'm grateful that I can do this. Hand painting as it goes. But yeah, I just take like a little chunk like that, open it up a little bit, and then very lightly touch it to the drum carder. It will grab it. And pull it onto the drum carder. This is a really nice way to get it on there in a semi-even fashion-ish. So this is a lot like the silk that I did, where I just apply it directly to the... I kind of prefer this process, so I try doing it on here, which is fine, but I really like applying it this way. I think that's a little bit nicer experience. We're going to put just a little bit more CBM. I want to save some for that last pass. I always like having CBM or the wool on the last pass when you're working with fibers like this, so it really encases it. Again, you're kind of sandwiching it then between the fibers. And some more in here. A little bit of a chunk there, but try to get it a little bit more distributed. Oops, there was a chunk. Pretty easy to correct though if it gets like that. You just kind of can pick it right up. If it doesn't get fully embedded in there. This one thing, like if you push down and let it drag, it really gets in there, and then you'd be stuck. You won't be able to just pull that out easily. Almost there, guys. Promise this is the slowest pass that I do, is always the first one, and then I speed it up from there. But it's never a super fast process because you do want to be mindful. The faster you are doing the carding, the more of a chance that you're going to damage the fiber. But then again, you also are dealing with nice clean fiber, and that makes a difference too. If you're dealing with a fiber that is clean, like it's clean, but it has lanolin in it, it does have a little more pull to it, and so you just have to be a little bit more mindful of that kind of thing. Being a little bit of a gentler hand. Using it. Just gonna keep on going across. Almost there. This is the most tedious part, is like going through and adding your fiber like this, because once you've got it all in there, then you're just feeding it back into the drum carder, and that is so much easier than this process. We're trying to kind of evenly distribute it the best you can. Go. All right. So now we're doing that last bit of our CVM in. Just a touch here, just to kind of sandwich everything onto the drum carder. Then we'll take it off, and then we'll run it through again and see what we think, and see if we want to do a third pass. I feel like I'm probably going to want to, but I don't know. I like the way it's looking. It looks better than I think the first time I worked with Angora. So, hey, we're learning. We are learning. We are improving. This is good. Very good. This is part of why I wanted to do the Great Guts Adventure. It's a good learning experience. All right, so we've got this all on here, and it's up to you, but I always like to do, like, compact it just before I take it off, and that's because I'm trying to get those fibers to kind of stick together. All right. Get to our spot where we can get it off. And use my super fancy, as I said before, my super fancy, I think it's called Dolpher. It is a screwdriver. Very fancy here, guys. Very fancy. All right. So we've got a little bit of the nice static going on here. And then I also have, where's my little pick? This helps to get those little fibers as I'm going. And I usually only have this issue that first pass. And then, see, this is a little bit of the other fibers. I don't want that in there. There we go. Nice. So this is that first pass. And as you can see, the drum likes to hold on to some of that fiber more. But when you do your second and then third passes, it tends to come off a lot easier because they become more like one entity. It's really fascinating how that works. Keep on lifting this off here. And if I have a bunch of color, I can go through and take that off in a second. I do see I have some color on there. It's amazing how much still is retained, but that bison, like I said, was super tiny and fine, so the fact that there's still a bunch of bison on there didn't surprise me. Bison was a interesting situation. This off here. Almost there. Tail end. Okay. So now, there we are. And there's a little bit of this bison here. Now the good part is, it should all be near the bottom layer here because it was just on the drum. So I'm just going to go through and kind of pluck those. I wouldn't care so much. However, this is a very white fleece. I do want to get some of that off because it will affect the color of the yarn. When you spin a yarn that's any light color, once it gets spun, it compresses the fibers naturally, so that then makes it darker. So if you have a fleece that is kind of brown looking because of things that are in there, it's going to make it more brown. So you can see how there's this kind of, hopefully you can see that, it's still separated, you know. That first pass is always interesting, but it definitely looks better than past Angoras that I've messed with. So that's good. So we're going to go ahead and pass this through one more time. It'll be 2 passes, and I'll see what that looks like, and I'll see if I want to do a 3rd pass. But so I'm going to step this up now. I'm going to make it go a little bit faster. And going to, so I took my bat, I'm going to split it into 4ths, open it up. I'm going to do the same thing where I do about a little over half of the drum carder and feed that in. And then you edit as you go. If you find any other little bits in there you want to pull out, go for it. A lot of this is so darn tiny and it's not gripping, so it should come off as you're spinning. It really should. When it's little bits of veggie matter like that, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Oh, good. Good. I'm watching this corner here because yesterday I had like a bit of a mess there, so much better this time. Right, next one. Again, we're going to open this up. Angora is so stinking soft and fluffy, it's unbelievable. And then of course the CDM is soft and fluffy, but it's not as staticky. The Angora just wants to like cling to everything. Right, so we're gonna feed that one in as well. So as I mentioned, I try to keep it like a 1/2 inch in from the end. And that is with the hopes that when it gets compressed, it may move over, but it shouldn't move into this area because that does happen if you're not paying attention. So that's why I try to always watch my wool, but you can easily get lost in trying to get little bits out of it and everything, and then you end up getting it sucked up where you don't want it to, which has happened. Okay. So now to the next one here. And we'll see. I think I might still want to do one more pass. I think I might want to do the 3 passes with this one, but we'll see. It's such a beautiful white Angora. I went to the Michigan Fiber Festival and saw the Angoras. It's one of my favorites to visit the Angoras. I love visiting the critters. I mean, the sheep, of course, but then I love the Angoras. And when we went to the Alpaca Festival, that was so much fun. Like visiting the alpacas. That's separate because unfortunately Michigan Fiber Festival gets so hot these days. It's just not conducive to having apparently the alpacas there. So it's a bummer. But I'd much rather go when they're happy and they're not super hot. Okay. And next one. Alright, it's the last. I've got the Angora just grabbing my sweater. Apparently likes the alpaca in my sweater and is just trying to grab it. Alright. This on here. We're almost there, you guys. I really do think one more pass is warranted, but we're going to see what it looks like when it comes off. That's what really tells me the story as to whether it needs to go through again. Got a little fuzzball there. It is looking good. Right, again, we're just going to compact it. And get our opening back. There it is. And take that off and see what that looks like. It's looking pretty good, though. It's looking pretty darn good. Want to go through it again? I don't know. Maybe one more pass. Do you feel like I kind of want to just go through one more time? Just for good measure. It's looking good. It just comes off so much cleaner. Like you can really get the fibers when you grip the bottom there. Just love how that changes like that. Makes the process so much better. And all right, friends, let's see what we think. Okay, so this again, I'm just going to edit the little bits of like bison that decided to try to get on this bat. Try to get some of that out. Bison just was holding on for dear life. Okay. It's pretty darn good. It really is, but I do think I want to do just one more pass. So 3 passes. We're going to do 3 if you feel it's warranted. Again, I've got it sped up. And I'm going to divide this into fourths again. Right, open it up and feed it in. Be really excited to hear what you guys enjoyed watching blended the most at the end of all these videos. There will be 12 days. It's a 12-day advent. The next one here. She has definitely some interesting fibers, though. These are a unique challenge, that's for sure. If you've not worked with them before, they are very different. But it is kind of nice to work with certain ones. The bison early on, ooh, that was a curveball because I felt like that was a tricky one. I mean, maybe others didn't, but I felt like that one was a bit more of a challenge to work with. All right, we have one more section after this one, and that will be our last pass. So I feel pretty good about it. I think it's nice where it's at right now, but if you want it just a little more blended, I do feel like this last pass is going to be really nice. I'm going to go through and compact it here. Remember to watch your corner. It's doing good. Got a little close there for a second. Got a little close. Comfort. Okay. And last chunk. Almost there, you guys. Almost there. Let's see. This direction. A bit of sorry silk here. It's funny. Alright, friends. I'm tempted to try to take it. If it's just on the edge like that, I'm going to blend it. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to blend it because that's just silly business. But if it's really in there, then we're not going to. This stuff should be just near the surface. There we go. All right. Compact it. And get our opening. There we go. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Feeling pretty good about it. Oh, it looks good. Look at that. Beautiful. Super fluffy. It's like a marshmallow. So gorgeous. And I'm just going to go through it like this, try to get any bits, but really it's coming off nicely. I'm going to just grab near the surface to take it off. And near the end here. Final reveal. There she is. That's after 3 passes. I'm very happy with that. You could do another pass, but I'm not going to. I like that. I like just a touch of differentiation, but it's very subtle. I'm sure you can kind of see that a little bit, but it's really pretty and it's nicely spread throughout. And yeah, ooh, it's gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. All right, so there it is. That is the CBM coated fleece from Mystic Rose Farms in Oregon and 5% Angora. Oh, super soft, super fluffy. Really looking forward to spinning that up. Look forward to catching you guys in the next episode of the Great Guts Adventure Advent. But until then, take care.